Adelaide has been a significant story as well. They got the job done over North Melbourne to clinch the minor premiership for the first time since 2017, and it was your man Riley Thilthorpe who will really strut his stuff, King.
Is he the best tall forward in the game? And everyone's talked about Sam Darcy. I think this guy threatens that status. And I'm not sure whether you're more worried about him as a forward or more worried about him as a ruckman.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that his ruck minutes are underutilised. He's a one grabber. Once they go in, they don't come out. Doesn't matter. Look at that. He's left two in his wake. This is the stuff that really excites me. So he's in the ruck here against Tristan Xerri, right? And ruckmen do this. They sleep for split seconds. Look at this. He's gone. And now he's a viable down-the-line target. And away you go. Doesn't look like much, but he will catch every ruckman in the final series napping the way that he charges forward. He will be a goal kicker as a ruckman in a final series. I think this guy has the greatest scope to be Mr. September because of this. Look at this. He's charging here. Xerri knows he can't go with him. He's panicking. He's pointing at him. He's saying, someone grab him, someone grab him. And Riley gets there. Now, if the skipper had a turn and seen him, and he's got to be better than this. They've got to see this. This is an advantage they should be able to get 2 to 3 opportunities a game from. And they may be goals. In a tight campaign, this is the difference. So if they get that there quickly, there's not a defender in the game that's ready to roll off a man and cover for their ruckman. So as a ruckman, Nixie, give him some more opportunity, give him some more minutes.
That's a mobility. That mobility is certainly an edge. That's great vision, Kingy. Right now, it's time for health. Is your best player thanks to HBF Health Insurance. Been a big story, Isaac Rankin. A 4-match suspension for him, Joey. How much are they going to miss him at the Crows?
Oh, I think more than we realise. I think he's going to be significant because that there is a little concern with the Adelaide Crows in regards to their clearance game at the moment, and it was completely beaten by North Melbourne in a big way, and it was obvious. But it hasn't just been this game. They've lost now the clearance battle by a fair bit in 3 of their last 4. And when you look at Adelaide's team, they are a bit different because they don't have the one gun inside mid that wins the clearances. They do it by committee. They all share the load. They all average around about the same. All average 4 clearances a game. Peatling, Saligo, Dawson. And without Rankin, they are just coming up a little bit short. You can see the numbers there. They are losing the clearance differential battle, which means they're losing field position. And it's nothing significant, but they're just giving up first possession a little bit. They're just a bit reactive. You know, Berry and Peatling, are they as aggressive to try and be the hit to as some of the other stars? And when we talk about the teams they've lost the clearance battle to, we're not talking about the best clearance teams in the comp. Like North Melbourne are pretty good, but they got beaten by Hawthorn and Collingwood, who aren't elite clearance teams. But they are just giving up too much at the moment, which is a meaning they have to defend. And King, I know you've spoken about how good their defence are, and they might have to be to hold up if they continue. Because this one is just Luke Parker, a simple shove off Peatling, and they flick it around by hand, and they're able to put the Adelaide Crows to the sword. So Rankin, not only is he going to be missed, he's their one that when he wins clearance, he's the best player at turning that into a score in the Adelaide Crows lineup. So they are missing that. That's where they rank in the competition for clearances. So they don't have anyone in the top 35. So they all need to do their bit, and it's just going to be a watch because even Riley O'Brien for a ruckman is the 16th ranked ruckman for winning clearance himself. He's not necessarily a big follow-up. So it could cost them field position, which is going to make it hard for them against the very best teams in September.
Do you think they can win it with this profile?
They still can, but they're going to have to rely on their forwards to be highly efficient and their defence to hold up and be elite, which they have been, so they can. Or the midfield have got to get a lot better in September.
How big is a headache do you think it is?
Huge. I mean, you can't. If you're playing tennis, you can't return serve all day. That's the gap, isn't it? You get a 6-on-6 opportunity, 6 one-on-ones from centre bounce. You want that as many times as you can, and they're off the mark.
Yeah, interesting numbers, Joey. Right, let's take a look. Between the cracks, thanks to Workday, Kingy, it was an amazing game on Friday night. Port Adelaide stopping the Suns midfield. How did they do it?
Well, they went after Rowell. They hunted Rowell. And we've talked a lot about their big 3 in the middle, but Rowell's the one that if you can stop his clearance game, you go a long way to getting them done. The numbers sort of speak for themselves. Like all of his score involvements come from when the game is restarting, from either a stoppage or a drop a ball opportunity. So more than 9... and his 9 score involvements less than 9 or 8 or less than 9, he drops down to 5. If 5's a very average game for a midfielder in the prime zones, you're giving him marquee roles, and they hunted him. They didn't give him an inch. I reckon Butters ran him down 4 times. Rosie had him in the crosshairs all day. Boak got him a few times, and they just stripped him as often as they could. So the physicality was another thing that I noticed around clearance. They didn't let him get on the move, and he just gave in to it. I'm not saying he gave up, but he didn't challenge them, Joe. He didn't get on the fly. He didn't stand back an extra 3 metres. And look at that. He allowed them to get separation on him.
Noticing the same thing. I was just wondering, watching this, whether there's a little bit of fatigue factor. There's been a heavy reliance on Rowell and Anderson this season all year long.
Mate, this is
late in the year, they've just haven't been as sharp as they have been for the majority of the year. And I just wonder whether, maybe talk about other teams just getting a few more rotations through the centre bounces at times and just easing the load a little bit, playing them in a different position, whether it's going to catch up with them the last couple of weeks and next week into finals, just to watch for me, because the numbers back it up.
Yeah, look, they're relying on too few. We understand that, and they're going into their first opportunity for finals. So they're not the finished product yet. But they've done a great job for the year, but he has to be better than that. I'm just not giving him the out.
Yeah.
He's a full AFL commodity now. He's old enough to handle the minutes and the workload. He can do it, but he can't be accepting of other people taking his position off him.
Looks like it's how you cut the head off the Gold Coast. But the Cats did it easy again on Saturday afternoon, Joey. And Tom Stewart, who had a probably slower start to the season, is picking up his form late.
No, absolutely he did. He had an unusual slow start to his season this year, but the last 10 or so weeks he's starting to find his very best form. And beware of Tom Stewart. Talk about Max Gawn making Melbourne a different team when he's up and about. Tom Stewart is still so important to what Geelong want to do. And we'll get to the numbers in a moment, but over the last 10 weeks or so, he's the number one player in the competition that when he intercepts the ball, turning that into a score. And Kingy, you highlighted halfway through the year about Tom Stewart comparing him to Dane Zorko and not being aggressive with his disposal, whether that was just a bit of lack of confidence. We know he had that knee issue, but he certainly changed that, and it's given them a different look. So you can just see the numbers. They speak for themselves, what he's been able to do the last 10 weeks or so. It's mighty impressive, and it makes why the Cats, for me, are going to be right there, because they are just humming at the right time.
They're back to superstar numbers. That is a significant shift. I think he's playing with a lot more pain than we thought in that first half of the season with that knee injury. What are you making of the Cats and how they're moving the ball?
I just want to highlight this is why they're so different. You've got to have a point of difference to win it, right? And they're wide warriors. They separate the ground into the two wide sort of sections of the field, and they'll just beat you with work rate wide. Now, you set up to zone and guard corridor normally because you're petrified of teams coming through the corridor, and they bypass you. They stay wide, they keep it wide, and they keep going. You've talked about the Dash brothers, but there's also the wingmen that get involved. There's the ruckman that becomes a key position player, and they get another runner involved. I think this is brilliant. I think this is something that every team has to plan for one given week. And that's the challenge. If you can make a team struggle to change and evolve, most teams are guarding corridor, and they're saying, hey, guard it. No worries. We're just going to stay wide and go at speed. They can kick, they can convert. They've got some of the best kicks in the competition, and they're all runners. So I love what they've done. They're hitting this final series with a home ground advantage and an absolute 100% healthy list. They are the number one seed.
They've got the wheels with Max Holmes and Bailey Smith, and then they inject Brian Myers, one of the best endurance runners in the competition, into that Auburn ball mix as well. Sean Manor, you've been a big fan of, Joey. He's been in fantastic form.